Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another week of the Bad Quarterback League. A lot of peculiar things happened yet again this year in Week 11. Why is it always this week where shit heats up? Speaking of steaming piles of shit, let's get to everyone's favorite segment.
He's made a mess of it.
I have a confession to make. Jamarcus Russell made one of the smallest messes ever this week, but I felt like I had to nominate somebody because I didn't nominate anyone last week. Here's the issue. Very few of you picked your worst team, and everyone who picked their worst team also picked their best team. That can hardly be called a mess now, can it? If Jamarcus Russell picked his two best teams, he would have improved his score by only 1 point, but too bad, deal with it. Over in top teams, we had the Kirsch League start all the good ones and only one of the bad ones, while the Turbush League missed out on Tampa. Although admittedly, Colt Quinn Whedon owned every single team in the top 3 best teams this week, so we could not possibly have started all 3 of them. A good problem to have. Time for Moneyballin' It, where the commissioner dared me not to select Johnny Effie Moxon, but let's be real here. Who else started their best 2 teams, got the top score of the week in their league, and avoided bad points from other teams? Do you want me to choose Ryan Leaf? Because I'm not going to choose Ryan Leaf. Even Ryan Leaf wouldn't choose himself. Moxon wins the small edge over TS8 win based on his other team, Jacksonville, doing a little better than Arizona. And in Relegation Watch 2018, the only update I have now is that now he's only 84 points deep in the relegation zone.
I hate weeks where you do good.
Finally, it's time for the Week 11 standings, where for the 3rd week in a row, we have Jay Cutler on top by 2 free throws thanks to a late game benching in Philly. Likewise, a late game-winning drive for Oakland gypped Tony Banks out of some points, but I don't think either of the top 2 people are going to complain much about their point totals for the week. Cade McNown, however, slowed down quite a bit as he was locked into a suddenly competent again Cam Newton and an improving Tennessee squad. I told you Wade Wilson wouldn't last long in 5th place, and sure enough, here he is in 4th again. He too was locked into his 2 teams, but was helped by a rare tank from Alex Smith, and followed that up with a gruesome leg injury that will knock yet another one of Wade Wilson's starting QBs out for the season. With 6 weeks to go, could this be the start of a late comeback for last year's runner-up? Falling back to 5th is Chad, Starsky, and Hutchinson, who started Baltimore, one of the few teams who has actually done relatively bad after their bye week. Only Minnesota and Cincinnati have had better BQBL weeks after a bye, which is usually a frowned upon time to start a team. Forever in 6th is Ryan
Hey, I was once in 2nd.
Leaf. It seems like it's just a matter of time before your pathetic weekly scores drops you into the relegation zone. Come on, we're all rooting for you to finally vanquish the commissioner to the league he talks so badly about all the time. Don't you want to be a hero? Tyler Palko put up decent for him numbers this week, doubling his expected score of 15 thanks to a taint by Cousins. Geez, we had 4 taints this week and a pair of farts. Finally, we have Johnny Effie Moxon, who, if you can believe this, was the only person in the Kirsch League not to start a team scoring 0 or negative BQBL points.
Oops, I said finally, but we still have these chumps to talk about. Winky had 2 teams on a bye, so he auto-picked himself to 6 points, which is like how many points he would get as interest each month in a hypothetical BQBL bank account with all of his BQBL cash. Ooh, can we trade them in for prizes at the end of the season? TS8 Win picked his top 2 teams and distanced himself above our new potential bronze medalist Colt Quinn Whedon, who had another breakout week, no thanks to Tampa Bay, who he's now benched both times they've had huge weeks. Grogan was one of the many people who started their best team and their worst team this week. Timothy T. Boner Time had another averagely uninspiring week that was actually good enough for 3rd best in the league. Johnny Football moved to 6th, Russell moved down to 7th, and Jeff George is not unlike that last little piggy who cried wee 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 all the way to last place.